And they unlock the new quest. We have not done this quest yet. We're here. It looks like it's a Mind Flayer base in Droam, which means there's going to be a lot of monsters. We're going to do that. But before we do that, I'm going to go over some changes that I made to the build. Just to make these elite quests a little bit easier. So I moved some of the points around. And one of the things that I discovered, and if anybody's watched the first two of these extreme challenge videos, my damage was really low. So what I did is I moved some points around. We put some points into enchantment saving throws in case the Illithids try to put the pink cap on me. And then I also moved some points out of Enlightened Spirit and moved them over to here. And so we got Charisma to hit and Charisma damage. That allows us to like basically do more damage when we swing our weapon. Great. This tree is exactly the same, except I dropped Chain Shape because I'm not really using it. And I picked up one in Scroll Mastery to make the heals a little better. As far as what I did here, because I realized that I didn't have a specific feat, I dropped the Spring Darkness and basically put 21 points over here to get Last Hope. I think I went over this in the last video, so makes this a little bit more survivable. And then I also like sort of took a look at my gear, so I'll show you guys the gear that I'm using. I have a dinosaur weapon, and that's got 9 filigrees in it. I can tell you, I switched from the Curse Fang to the Bright Fang that just does the type damage, untyped damage, whatever. And I can tell you it's terrible. So I'm probably going to go back to the Curse dealing one, but we're not going to do that right now. Windswept Buckler, Legendary Corroded Iron Lenses, Driftwood Bracers. So I have a 5-piece Salt Marsh set, and then I also have a 3-piece Waking Ancestor set. This belt I crafted. And then this ring, that's the ring I always craft for myself. I'm wearing Assault Pearl and the Gloryborn gloves, crocodile skin boots. My artifact is a dinosaur necklace that I have slotted with light damage crit. And then I have the Waking Ancestor helmet. And then our trinket is the Battle-Worn Medallion. So doing that, though, let me get my DC up. So now my finger DC is over 100 in Reaper. And same thing with my Hold Monster DC. So should make it a little bit easier to hit. So I've never done this before. I have no idea. Just make sure I can see if people are watching. Yes, I see there's 2 people watching. Okay, welcome. All right, so I have a cleric. We'll post it at the front here just in case we need a res. I have a cake. I have a Gibber's Blade.
The orc shaman you were sent to meet stands outside the gate to the base. He's in.
Okay, so Mind Flayer's taken over the Droam troops inside the base. Basically. And he wants us to find and kill it. Be careful, the base is crawling with mind-controlled troops. Okay, so there's a giant in here. Watch out for the patrolling giants. If the giants detect you, they may thrash you to a pulp. Take it slow. Don't set the giants off. Take out the psionic amplifier. So we need to go find that.
You need to take out the Illithid controller who is controlling the monstrous troops in
that sounds exciting.
To do that,
how much you want to get?
Find and open the gate.
How much you want to bet that I get smashed to smithereens by one of these giants?
You may do better avoiding them instead of fighting them. The good news is that the mind control has dulled the monster's senses.
Wow, that dude has a bazillion hit points. And it looks like he's immune to hold. I'm gonna try. Nope. But I can turn them to ice. And they hit really, really hard. Oh, and there's one of the giants. Wow. This is really, really... Yeah, so they're completely immune to my... Or maybe not immune, but like I am not able to hold them at all. So I should probably try something different. Let's try... Yeah, I'm also going to set the goofball to... He's gonna get himself killed. God, if these ogres are this tough, what it's gonna be with these giants? Like, I can't even imagine. So they're immune to dance, they're immune to hold, or maybe not immune, but my DC's not high enough, right? So I can definitely benefit from sleet storming. Most certainly. And then let's see if I can... Nope. Really? Yeah, they are like... Can't dancing ball them either. Let's try E-Bards.
A giant spots one of our party and attacks.
Oh, my little Heart Guardian just grabbed the giant, so that's going to be a problem. It looks like, though, Sleet Storm is doing good, so that's cool. Are these giants even killable, is the question. Alright, dude, what is wrong with this dude? I pinned him like 6 times. I can't believe that Crusher Ogre is still alive. Way, way too many hit points on these mobs, by the way. Yeah, there goes Albereth. Oh, God. See, it's not even worth using these hirelings, like, as an insurance policy, because they are just so idiotic. Let's see if I can fight this guy up top. I'm gonna try to kill it. Why not? If he'll just range me, throw him in a Sleet Storm. No, okay, he's coming up here. Does he hit really hard? Can I dance him? No. So it's like another Titan from that last quest, basically. It's just going to be a very long fight, because I don't know what else to do. There's a bunch of mobs in there. Okay, I'll try to give him an Arcane Storm. Yeah, they have a lot of hit points. So I guess what you're supposed to do is just sneak through that door there and lead all of these mobs so you don't aggro this dude. The question I have is, will he de-aggro, or like if I were to leave him, or would he announce my presence to everybody? Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, like, it's probably going to be a lot easier if you do this quest with a group just because of the sheer crazy amount of hit points that everything has. But also, I would remark that even with, let's say, the card count dropping enough to make one full deck, these quests are just really, really difficult to do. So I'm not sure it's worth it just to get +2 fortune bonus on a weapon. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm weird, but it seems like an awful lot of work. The other interesting thing is, you know, like, he probably won't drop a chest. It would be nice to be able to find some sort of, like, safe spot, though. His damage is really not that bad. It's not as bad as the ogres. The ogres were worse. He does, like, a lightning thing, though, like a call lightning. So my cleric is dead. Oh, there's a... Yeah, the other... I would like to just call bullshit that every champion now is a thrall, like... Yeah, these things are all immune to mind control, like... maybe they patched that or something, but I cannot hold them. None of these thralls can be held or... Yeah, I'm not sure the Heart Guardian is useful in here either, just because it seems to be aggroing things from other rooms. Which means that my build is probably not going to function well in here. If I need to sneak around, I won't be able to use it. Yeah, I mean, just the sheer amount of hit points that those giants have. What the frack? So far the best spell is Sleet Storm. Slowing them and making it so that they have a harder time hitting me. But... yeah, the damage reduction for being a psionic thrall is also something I'd like to call bullshit on. Like, you know, since when does being under somebody's control make you stronger? I don't know. Is it like a Hulk effect, or like, you know, the effect of somebody who's in like a car accident and then they get super strength. They can just pick the car up off their buddy or whatever. Like, is that the logic of making these thralls so stupidly powerful? I don't know. It's annoying, though. This thing has more hit points than like a raid boss, probably. But it doesn't seem to be doing that much damage, so, you know, maybe I can just sit here and punch it and do like a rotation on it. Maybe that'll get it. Yeah, let me put my back up against the wall there so it can't, like, knock me away. That looks like it's going a little bit better. Okay, Arcane Storm. Let's see what his buff is. Crazy. There we go. Okay, now I can see chat. Yes, okay, great. Hello and welcome. Trog, how are you? Happy Wednesday. Yeah, see, I need to actually hit him, so the charisma hit and damage actually makes it go a lot faster. If I can actually hit him halfway. I mean, I get it. I'm doing these solo, right? So this is the third dungeon, yeah. The third challenge. It's taking place between Droam and Stormreach, so it's all monsters, all that. You know, Droam is like the monster nation, so, and they're run by a, what is that, a Medusa? So that means that the boss in this is probably, if it's not another giant, it's probably a Medusa. I am not immune to getting turned to stone, but I think you can shield block and avoid it. But if it's anything like this fight and there's 1,000 mobs, it'll be really challenging. It's sort of very annoying that I can't... This guy's a red name, but like the ogres, I could not hit them with autos or the dancing ball or anything. They were immune. Now again, that might be my DCs, but this is R1 and my enchantment DC is 102. So I mean, I think that's in the realm of being good enough for R1, so who knows. But for R1, it seems like this divine energy resistance is enough. At least for this fight. So I was warned to avoid the cloud giants right off the bat, but I aggroed one by accident, which makes me think that you're not supposed to go left. I don't see a chest in there at all. But since we've never done this before, I might clear that out just to see what's in there. Yeah, right. I mean, it's an interesting thing. Like, it's how do you make a challenge if you don't play the game? right? Like, I'm not sure that they're playing the game, so it's just they blast the hit points way up, the saving throws, the difficulty then is based on like time, right? It's not that I can't kill this dude, it's do I have 20 minutes? Again, with other people, this would go a lot easier, but as you can see, the hireling is dead. He was on passive and he died anyway. This thing does some sort of electrical AoE. So even with the energy resistance on him, he died anyway. It's unfortunate. It's one of the things if you've ever played Star Wars, The Old Republic, even though that game, EA killed that game, but it used to be good. And one of the things that it did really well were the companions. Like, you could have a companion that would actually really help you. So if I used to use like HK45, for example, or HK51, whichever one it was, you know, he was very good. HK was a very good companion and would actually help. But these companions, because they don't scale correctly and they were added to the game so long ago that they don't have the correct destinies, they don't have anything correct, they don't even have quicken, so they get interrupted. It's just, they're just terrible. I think the paladin is okay because he can do or he or she could do a lay hands on you or something like that, but usually I don't put that much thought into it because I don't really want to use a companion. I just want to have an ability to res myself if I'm not near a shrine and I don't have a cake. So I'll res him and pin him at the beginning and he should be good there. If we can actually kill this. Optional is kill all the giants. Failed is enter the controller's gate. Oh, that's a failed option. Optional. Failed. Enter without. Okay. So I don't have to worry about failing the quest. I just need to open the gate to the headquarters and then defeat the Illithid. Okay. Not doing bad for being in light armor and using a buckler. Oh, I didn't show the armor. The armor is the legendary mono wheel. So. I did try to get my dexterity up a little higher though because I am using from Primal Avatar. Oh, actually I'm wrong. I'm using, it's from Shadow Dancer. I get evasion. So I can't have any heavy armor. I can't have medium armor. I can't even use a shield. Like the buckler I'm using, I'm not even proficient with it. You can see that there, not proficient. But bucklers don't flag. You know, they don't prevent you from evading. And then the light armor would not prevent me either. So I have evasion. So I wanted to get my dexterity up higher. This is part of the reason probably why in the second quest I wasn't taking a super ton of damage from those force orbs because I have evasion. But it's, you know, my dexterity is 65, so it's not like it's super high. So I don't always make the saving throws, but would like to get that to 80, but I would have to sort of redo my gear a bit. But it would be something that I would try to do with the fortune bonuses to get a bonus to my reflex save and my dexterity. Definitely to take advantage of that. This thing does not seem to hit me with a lot of burst either. Like, the damage that he's done to me has been pretty consistent, so it's not like I've been afraid that if I get too close to him, he might just burst me to death. That is not the case, though, for the ogres. The ogres certainly can. Like they can do like a triple crit hit on you when they, you know, they do that little ogre jump thing that they do. So I would not stand and try to beat up an ogre like this, but this particular dude is not that bad. I'm going to have to rearrange some of the things on my bar though, because none of my abilities are working. So likely what I'll do is I'll swap out Hold Monster for Sleet Storm so I can cast it quickly. Because that seems to be working really well. And then as far as I know, because I'm casting Sleet Storm with the dinosaur stick, it should have a chance of turning the things to ice. So we'll see. So between this quest and the last quest, I bought stacks of 100 of all my scrolls and my potions. That way I have everything just in case I get stuck in some fight that goes on for a really long time. Okay, so this dude is going to get pinned for if I need res. Welcome. If anybody else joined. Gonna throw a Sleet Storm in there. I'm gonna try, since I haven't rearranged my bar yet, I'm gonna try hitting them with a Hold Monster just to see if I can get one. Now, see, we got him with the ice, but we did not get him with Hold. The archers don't have any hit points, so that's good. Let's see if I can hold this dude. Nope. Yeah, so I'm wondering if they made it so that you cannot hold thralls anymore. Which, if they patch that, that's really lame. I mean, it's not a surprise, right? They like to do stuff like that, but it's annoying. So since that's not working, we're going to put Sleet Storm. And this bar is the bar that I have tied to the Xbox controller. So, you know, I click some, I keyboard hotkey some, but most of my combat is on my Xbox controller. I definitely think the charisma hit and damage is working better. Okay, so there is a crusher. Give him an arcane storm and then hit him with a sleet storm. Okay. There we go. Yeah, see, he just casted haste on himself, and he'll try to do that triple baseball bat jump thing that he does, and I'm pretty sure when they do that animation, it means that the 3 hits like that right there, pretty sure that it means that they're all crit. Like, they get some type of crit boost when they do that. So we definitely don't want to be near him. I'm gonna try to hit him with autos. See, he's immune to that too, and I've not ever seen anything immune to that, so it seems like that hat that they wear, that blue hat, makes them immune. They may have updated the text. Okay, they've got, yeah. As a result, this creature is immune to most mind-affecting spells and abilities. Mind block. Yeah, it looks like they changed it. So these just became a lot more fun. Okay, so that's where I was. Don't want to go that way. Pulled the lever. I see a giant. I see a bunch of mobs. The giant is coming this way, so... Looks like we definitely want to avoid aggroing him, but how? Okay, he goes away. So I'm going to aggro these. Bring them up here. Okay, so Evard's works. Let's try Deathfield. Only saved. I think with high enough DCs, you could probably Necro kill these, right? Or do they have death block? Oh no, they're death blocked. Of course they're death blocked. This is an extreme challenge, right? Of course they're death blocked. Sleet Storm, though, is still one of the best spells in the game. Because he's blind in there. He can't see me. Yeah, you can see every once in a while you'll see like a green Bane damage. And that's the Bright Fang that I reslotted into this dinosaur weapon. If you see there, Bright Fang attacks and offensive spells have a chance to deal untyped damage. It's terrible. It's way worse than the Shadow Fang. The Shadow Fang does the same damage, but it applies a minute-long dot. Way better to have the dot than to just do a one-off, in my opinion. I mean, it's all really low damage, though, but every bit helps, right? It adds to it. So he stands there for like 10 seconds and then turns around. But is there a way to get around him? Or do we just go invisible and like run right by him? That's the question. Can he see invisible creatures? Yes, he can. So I have no idea what we're supposed to do for this dude. Oh, I see. Maybe. Well, it's too late now, but I think what we were supposed to do is go by him and then go, like, there's an area over here, yeah, behind that pile of stuff right there. Oh god, look at this place. This is disgusting. Oh, and yeah, so that AO, he does some sort of attack that you would not want to aggro more than one of these at once because it's instance wide. He just killed the cleric at the entrance from here. So it's like he calls a lightning storm that hits everybody in the whole dungeon, apparently. Yeah, I just sort of speechless at the amount of hit points that they gave these monsters. I would guarantee you that it has, that one of these giants has as much as a raid boss, if not as much as 2 raid bosses. Like, they have like 1,000,000 hit points. Crazy. Again, with a group, it wouldn't be that bad because, you know, you're able to do a lot more DPS, just one Warlock, but it does make, you know, if you're the type of person who doesn't like to pug, if you're a solo player, you know, it does make doing these on Reaper sort of very lame because they get a lot more difficult. I'm sure even on Elite this would be difficult with all the hit points, but my damage would be a little bit higher if we were in on Elite, as opposed to Reaper 1. I'm gonna try to lead him back. So the little Heart Guardian doesn't call friends. Or aggro other things, you know. Yeah, the damage just isn't there. It's just low. Even with all the optimizing that I did. My charisma is not as high as you could get it at 92. I'm sure people have like 120 or something like that, but... don't really raid, so... Yeah, right, I agree. Oh yeah, I've played Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah, I like it. It's a beautiful game. The combat sucked though. That's why I left. I just did not like the combat. I couldn't deal with how, you know, the combat just didn't play well. I was on a caster. I don't know. They may have patched that. Maybe it plays a little better now, but this is a few years ago. Probably 4 years ago, maybe. Played for a while. Visually very beautiful. But the combat is just god-awful, especially if you compare it to a game like DDO, which, you know, it's not very pretty to look at, but the combat is really strong. So I've often said that if SSG could grab like the visuals from Elder Scrolls Online and refresh this game with that look and feel, it would be really pretty, and this game would be great. I think I played a lizard monster or whatever they are, like a half dragon or something. It's very cool. I made a drow too. I think you can make a drow, right? I have housing in that game. I have everything. Like, I played for a while. It's just I couldn't take... and the PvP too is terrible. Like, I did the group PvP where you invade. I think it's like you try to capture a city, and it was just a slaughter. I'd throw one spell and then I'd be nuked. So I didn't really care for that. It's from being somebody who enjoyed PvP for a long time, I didn't like the... It was just way too easy to die. There wasn't a lot of... It didn't seem like there was a lot of skill, but I mean, I didn't do it that much, so maybe there is. In Star Wars The Old Republic, I PvP'd a lot. And then other games. That's actually where the name Mary comes from, by the way, if you didn't know that. Like, my first tune when I started playing MMOs, in Ultima Online I played, and my tune was Mary Poppins. And I thought it was neat PvPing, handing out spoonfuls of sugar. You know, like, I thought that was a neat PvP thing, but I don't really PvP that much. I'm kind of glad that they don't have it in DDO because it sort of changes the vibe, you know? Like, Star Wars got really toxic, so I don't really even Like, I uninstalled that game. But Elder Scrolls Online, I uninstalled it, but like I said, I played it for quite a while. When I was playing it, it was right when they did that update with all the voice actors, and it was, I beta tested for it and everything too before that. Like, I liked it. Yeah, right. So maybe it's better than my experience with it. I never did any sort of like small or like one-on-one or like small group PvP in Elder Scrolls. It was always, there were like 30 or 50 of us, and then it was versus like 50 people on the other side. It was just way too indiscriminate. Like, I would just die instantly in a rain of arrows or something stupid. But I played whatever the caster is, like a sorcerer or something. So, but it's been a while. I prefer casters. I like casters in this game. In Lord of the Rings Online, my main is Minstrel. In Elder Scrolls, it was whatever, like, the sorcerer wizard is. I don't remember what it's called. In Star Wars The Old Republic, my main was a sorcerer. Or a sage, depending on what side you were on at the time. I had, like, a, you know, the same character. I also liked playing Sith Warrior, though, over there. That was cool. And then PT, when they, you know, PT actually became really fun later, but EA killed that game, which is unfortunate. Sometimes I rant on the DDO forum when SSG does like a lot of nerfs or when they make a lot of changes, just because I've been through, like, I don't know if either of you have played any other MMOs, but like Star Wars Galaxies, like, I lived through that. I've lived through Star Wars The Old Republic dying. I lived through Ultima Online dying. You know, like, there's just so many. WildStar, like, I've just seen a lot of MMOs die, and it usually is when they start making all these crazy changes. Obviously, Star Wars Galaxies being the sort of trope of this whole, like, conversation, right? Because Sony completely ignored the player base when they asked them not to make Jedi available to everybody, and they made Jedi available to everybody, and the new game experience, and they, you know, got rid of majority of all the fun skills and abilities, and just completely dumbed the game down and made it unplayable, and then they closed it down because everybody left. Another really interesting one is Diablo 4. I just watched a really interesting video on Diablo 4. I'm kind of shocked at how that game died. Supposedly the population at one time was around 7 million people playing it, and now the population of the game is around 40,000. So it's like a 99.4% loss in population. And if you think about it, that game launched last summer or whatever it was, like July or something. So it hasn't even been around a year. If you think about DDO, I think the total population for Dungeons & Dragons Online is around 50,000 players off and on. And we're what, like 17 years old? So that, to me, that is just so amazing that Diablo 4 could die and be close to the population of DDO. And that, they spent $1 billion on that game. Like, the hell? It's amazing to me that they killed that game. But this is Blizzard. What was Blizzard is just no longer. Everybody who made Blizzard good either left the company or is dead. And the only thing that's left now are Microsoft stooges, and they have no idea what they're doing. They're just trying to make money. You guys may like it, and obviously this is my opinion, but you guys may like Blizzard games, but I just can't. Like, I never played World of Warcraft. I mean, I tried it, but I was a huge fan of StarCraft, huge fan of the original Warcraft Huge fan. Like, I played Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. I played StarCraft 1 and 2. Diablo, obviously, like 1 and 2. Like, I remember when Diablo 1 came out and just completely changed the whole world. Like, it was insane how amazing Diablo 1 was. And then when they came out with Diablo 2 and it was even better, it was like Blizzard could do no wrong. It's just really unfortunate now that they've fallen so far from what they were, because they really used to be like the best, one of the best anyway. I kind of feel like the same way, though, about BioWare. BioWare is another company that made amazing video games, and then they were bought out by EA, and then EA completely killed them. So, you know, if you guys have ever played Mass Effect or any other of the BioWare games, it's hard to beat. As a matter of fact, I think one of the reasons why Baldur's Gate 3, coming from Larian Studios, which nobody really heard of, I mean, yeah, they had a couple of games that were good before that, but one of the reasons I think Baldur's Gate 3 is so popular is because it's filling that gap that BioWare had, making all their cinematic Mass Effect and Star Wars games. Like Star Wars The Old Republic, when that game launched, that game was awesome. Yeah, it was really, really cool. Mass Effect, supposed to be Mass Effect 5 coming out in the future, but who knows if we'll get that. So likely I'm going to flag this Cloud Giant. I don't know. I'm going to try not to, but I got to kill this Fear Reaper so the Fear Reaper doesn't kill me. Okay. I want to stay away from that giant. If there's any way that we can get away from it, just lead this thrall over here. I'm actually super excited about Mass Effect. I hope that they continue the Shepard story in Mass Effect 5. I was really excited to see the teaser trailer in 2020. I think it was 2020 when they teased that. But I've been like looking at the updates and they really haven't posted anything recently, so I'm not sure. The last post I saw was that they were fleshing out story ideas in pre-production, which means that they really haven't even started designing it. They haven't selected an engine yet. My hope is that they select Unreal 5. But, you know, if they decide to stick with that Frostbite engine, it's probably not going to be that good, unfortunately. That engine just really isn't that good. It needs to be scrapped. I feel the same way, and I don't know the name of the engine that Bethesda uses. Like, they just released Starfield in the same engine that they made Fallout 4 in, which is the same engine that they made Fallout 3 in. It's got a name. I think it might be Infinity or something like that. I forget the name of it. But anyway, that engine needs to be retired as well. It's just way, way too old. Oh, the Creation engine? Yeah, I mean, it's just like they really need to get rid of that. Considering that Bethesda is, you know, like very successful. I'm not a huge fan of Bethesda games, but I did really like the Fallout franchise. I was a big fan of Fallout 1 and 2. I love the writing. Brian Fargo, like I played his Wasteland when he kickstarted Wasteland. I played that. Like I just really like the apocalyptic setting, but I think it's unfortunate though that Bethesda hasn't really sort of embraced in their Fallout games the sort of humor that the originals had. But they did pretty good. Like Fallout 4 was a good game. So I hope that they continue with that franchise. I have Starfield. I play Starfield a little, but I mean, it's not super exciting. It's just a lot of open space. And it's okay. I keep thinking I should stream it because it's popular right now, but it's really like this is at least exciting in the sense that, you know, I've been playing this DDO for a long time. I know it. really well, and you know, I'm doing it on a difficult level. I could die at any moment, but in Starfield, it would be like I don't really know that game that well, so I'd just be wandering around in space. It's just very boring. But I know a lot of people are streaming it. But another interesting statistic about video games, off topic, but we need to talk about something, right? While we burn down all these crazy hit points. But somebody said that there's more people streaming about why Diablo 4 sucks than are playing Diablo 4. Like, I just thought that was amazing. Like, I bought it. I own it. I own it. I bought the stupid, you know, like the top tier. I didn't even know what the stupid season pass was. I have not used my season pass that I got with my purchase, but you know, I got the mount. They made it so that you can't even use the mount until you unlock some third part of the quest chain. And the other thing that I thought was BS is that if you want to do the season, I guess you have to start from scratch and do all of your unlocks again, like all of the Lilith statues, all of everything else. And that's just, to me, that's insane, because there's just so much of that stuff that just wastes a lot of time. So I had no interest to do that. So I have not yet activated my season pass, but I uninstalled that game. I don't even have Diablo 4 installed anymore. And the reason why is I tried to play a sorcerer. Sorcerer was the most popular class, but their DPS versus mobs in the world was terrible. They were really good at killing bosses, but terrible at killing the trash. And if you played it at all, you know that you're constantly running through trash. It's just way, way, way too slow to play when your DPS is only good on bosses. So then I tried playing a Necromancer. Necromancers are fantastic versus trash, but they just can't kill bosses. So if you could play with two people, like one on a Sorc, one on a Necromancer, yeah, that'd be cool. But so then I tried a Barbarian or whatever I guess, which when they launched, they were supposed to have the best DPS, and then they nerfed them, so then they had the worst DPS. And then I tried a Druid, but I didn't like how the Druid, I could not change the body type. Like, you know, the Druid, the artwork for all the characters is set. You can't make your character look very much different. You can put different clothes on them, right? But so I wasn't a huge fan of that model that they had for the Druid, so I just wasn't that invested into it. And then I tried the other, whatever the other class is, the Rogue. I liked it. I liked it, but it just wasn't, like, I didn't feel like I could really progress. And where I got stuck were on some boss fights. Like, they would be really hard, and I would spend an hour doing them, and then I would die at the end. And I said, this isn't worth the effort, because you have to reset it. Like, you die, and then you go back in. It's not like here, if I were to die, I could run back here. In that, it, like, reset all the mobs. So I had to, like, do the whole thing. It just was such a pain. So I aggroed this cloud giant on purpose because I want to kill him, because I saw the Illithid over there, and I don't want to have to deal with this dude with the Illithid. So hopefully I can, like, clear out all the trash, and then we can just deal with the Illithid itself. Still a ton of hit points. Yeah, my damage is so low. Arcane Storm. Not even going to bother with... Oh, I can't dismiss him. I have to go back to the beginning. It's another thing about the companions. Like, why can't I just dismiss him from here? Why does he have to be with me? I hope whatever they do next, that they refresh some of the older systems. I voted for Mythdraenor when they put up that vote. I know a lot of people voted for Planescape. That's cool too. I wanted them to do Mythdraenor because my logic was that the original Forgotten Realms content was posted, I think it was, what, like 2010-ish, somewhere around there, so. Yeah, I agree. So my hope was that they take us back to the Forgotten Realms, and then they update all of the Forgotten Realms content, all of the models and all the gear. Yeah. Mythdraenor was, I think it was at the top, followed really closely by Planescape. That's okay too. Planescape is in the, you know, like psionic magic, which they certainly could do. That would be cool. And Githyanki, that would be nice too. They're cool. I personally, though, would like them to refresh a lot of the Forgotten Realms stuff. So, new artwork for the Purple Dragon Knight, for example. Enhancing, like, the trees. Sun Elf really needs a pass on the tree. It costs so much, like so many points to go up that racial tree for Sun Elf. It's just stupid. It doesn't make sense. They made those at a time when the cost for abilities was usually 2. Now the cost for most abilities is 1. They just need to be whatever they call it, rebalanced. Make them so that they can have competitive abilities. People still play Sun Elf, though, on Hardcore League, but it's just really hard to get the racial abilities without spending a ton of points. Mythdraenor, it's a cool, reminds me of when I used to play pen and paper. We used to have a lot of the stuff that we did was in the Forgotten Realms near those. Oh, somebody just said thanks for the videos, but I can't reply because I'll probably die, right? Put on auto attack. Let's see if I can type. Okay, thanks. No, I'm gonna die. Oh, somebody just hit me. Oh, you know what that is? That might actually be my, yeah, that, you know what? That might be this. That just triggered that heal on me, Last Hope. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, the damage is alright. I'm gonna fight him right here. Sleet Storm. Arcane Storm, and then throw down the Heart Guardian. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Purple Dragon Knight too. They just, the artwork that they used when they made those, the artwork for Dungeons and Dragons has changed. That's 3.0 artwork, and now with 5e, the artwork is all different. I would argue that the artwork now, even though it's slightly cartoonier, it's better. I like the way that the artwork looks in the new books. It's a little bit cooler. I'm a fan of all the original art that they had for this game, but the game has changed a lot, so. .5e rules are very cool. I kind of want them to add, what is that? Advantage and disadvantage to DDO. I think it's a really cool system. But it's a little bit, you know, that would require them to kind of update a bunch of rules, and likely they wouldn't do it because that would probably affect some of the systems that govern how the game works. And when they talk about that, they mention terms like spaghetti code, and I just think that it would probably be a project that would not be practical because they couldn't fund it. You know, if they had people donating time to go through the code, they could probably do it. But if they had to pay for it themselves, they probably would never be able to budget it. The other thing, too, is you wouldn't want to do that with a live game, because if you broke, you know, if they removed something and it completely broke the game. So they would have to do a lot of testing. But it would be nice if they ever do like a Dungeons & Dragons Online 2, or if another company does it, it would be nice for them to use the new rules. And the new rules are the most popular rules that have ever been. Like, it's pretty insane how much people love that rule set. A lot of people play 5e on Twitch. A lot of people play it on the internet. It's a pretty good time to be a, you know, a Dungeons and Dragons fan. I saw the movie. Movie was pretty good. I was just a little upset because I couldn't figure out like what everybody's class was. Like, I know that there was a wild sorcerer. I know that the main character was a bard, but I couldn't figure out if the woman with him was a fighter or a barbarian. I don't think she was a barbarian because she never raged, but she kind of acted like a barbarian. So I don't know. I don't know. I just thought they should telegraph a little bit more for a movie, like what their classes are, because anybody who's watching the movie who plays D&D is going to want to know what the classes are. Like, it made me feel like the writers wrote a cool movie, but they didn't actually play D&D. Like, so they made a cool action movie with monsters, but it didn't really have to be Dungeons and Dragons. It could have been anything. The other thing, too, is, and they did try to deal with this, but from my perspective, it's a gigantic problem of making a movie in the world of the Forgotten Realms anyway, is that in Dungeons and Dragons, you can always resurrect. And yeah, they came up with a story, like a MacGuffin that made it so that they didn't have the ability to, anybody stabbed with that particular dagger wasn't able to be rezzed. But that's sort of a very specific and weird. I can't think of like a DM using that, but maybe, you know, it's just, otherwise you can just go and get rezzed. Okay. I'll probably still be here fighting giants. He's almost dead. I wonder how many more of these cloud giants there are. If this is the last one, or do I have to fight more? It'll be pretty insane if I have to fight a lot more of them, because I feel like I've been fighting this one. The stream has been on for an hour and 15 minutes. And I feel like I've been fighting giants for most of that. Like, literally a bazillion hit points. So if you're a designer of video games and you're watching this, don't just overinflate your mobs with bazillions of hit points, because it makes it really not fun. Okay, he should be dropping any time now. Okay. I really could use a shrine. And I really want to get that dude at the beginning res, but it's probably not worth keeping him in the party because he keeps dying. Oh wait, there's a lever up there. All right, so we're going to go in there just to see what's over there. Since I've never been in here before. But I really need a shrine, so we're going to use our pocket shrine then. Just Illyri. Just really quickly. Illyri came from the friendship bundle or whatever they called that thing. I forget the name of it. It's like the new player friend bundle. I don't think they sell it anymore. But it's a gold seal level 3 cleric, and she's got divine vitality. It's very useful. I also have some mana potions if I need them, but usually I try not to use them. However, I think I probably will, since I haven't done this quest before and I need to buff up. Okay, we'll use one. That got us 200 mana. All right, let's see what's going on in here. Okay, get down my Arcane Storm, get down my Sleet Storm. They're all immune to mind control effects, so I can no longer hold them with Hold Monster, but the Sleet Storm will blind them and then cause them to move slower, and then these don't have that many hit points, so. Yeah, they're not that bad. It's the giants that are really bad. The Crushers, so I don't want to get too close to them because they do a crit. That 1, 2, 3 that he just tried to do to me, that will hit. Usually it's a crit if they hit you with it, so we don't want to be close to that. I mean, I can get myself over 4,000 hit points, but still, it's safer if I stay away. But the hope is that there's a shrine over here. If not, then I'll use another potion, but I usually try not to use them. I'll usually try to just find some organic way to do it, but I have them for emergencies, and I would consider these quests to be, you know, extreme challenges. I would think that qualifies as an emergency situation, because otherwise I never use them. But we'll see. There may be something over this way. I haven't done it before, so. There is a lever here, I saw. These gnolls are pretty easy. Okay, I got my Arcane Storm down. I've got my Sleet Storm down. Okay, so there's the lever.
You hear a metal gate clank in the distance.
So we actually had to do that. That's the Illithid gate.
Now open.
Oh god, there is another cloud giant. Alright, so we're gonna lead these things up to us. Throw an arcane storm on those dudes. Try to lead them up here. So don't aggro that giant. I mean, we eventually will aggro the giant, but... Okay, another sleet storm, another arcane storm once it's up. Okay. Going to throw down black tentacles. Just Evards is really good. The tentacles will grab the crushers. And then I hope the dinosaur sword that I'm using procs and locks them in ice. That would be really helpful. And so I think they changed it, but they made these psionic thralls. Now they have a buff on them called Mind Block, which basically means that they cannot be like held, or you can't cast Otto's Irresistible Dance on them. You can't do the dancing ball. So basically all of my enchantment magic that I would use to CC is useless. So I have to use other stuff to CC them. So I'm using this dinosaur bone short sword that has ice horn in it, and that freezes targets, and then my sleet storm, which will slow them and blind them. But it's still a pain because these things have a gazillion hit points. So I am not sure. So it looks like, yeah, okay. So it looks like maybe I can avoid fighting that giant because I can go around, I hope. What I don't want is the giant aggroed with the Illithid. So we'll see what that looks like. I would love a shrine. I see a shrine. How do I get to it? So it's in there, and there's a bunch of mobs, and I got both of the levers. The other storm giant is over there. I can't see him right now, but... So what is this thing? Do I have to fight him? I got this lever. Okay, I'm gonna attack these. Arcane Storm, Sleet Storm. Okay. Don't want to throw down the little Heart Guardian because she'll aggro everything. Basically just try to beat this dude down while he's encased in ice. I don't want to stand and tank them, but although in the Sleet Storm, I'm much safer doing that. Okay, so is there... There's the other giant. I don't see another lever. Oh, that's not an Illithid. That's a control device. So how do I get that down? Let's... Okay, I see. There's the shrine. Sleet Storm. And he's ice. Great. So now I'll try to beat him up. The damage is low, but I use charisma to hit damage now, so that might make this a little bit easier. But still, the damage is just really low. Even on R1, like, my Warlock damage is not very high. Yeah, he fell in the sleet storm. That's great. He fell again. So I love sleet storm. Okay, he's dead. Yeah, it makes that a lot easier. So I don't want to aggro him, but I do want to kill these because I want to use that shrine and pull that lever. So give them a sleet storm. Arcane storm. Oh, did I aggro him? No. That's good. I don't want to aggro him. Yeah, so I don't feel bad about tanking, or I'm not tanking, but like standing toe-to-toe with him in the sleet storm because he's blinded and he has a chance of falling down. And also getting turned to ice, so it's all good in the sleet storm. Otherwise, I would not stand next to that dude. So that giant is just standing there. And I don't want to aggro him. Like, I want him to leave. Yeah, thank you. So we should be able to just get this lever. Okay, great. And then we should be able to use the shrine without aggroing this giant, although he can see invisible. Doesn't look like he comes close enough to this. So I don't think there's any need for me to go over there. I think we're okay over here. And I think that control device is what I have to destroy next. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I haven't done this before. If you guys watching this have done it before, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I'm hoping my destroying this is going to remove the hats from everything, and maybe the mobs will then help me fight the Illithids because they won't be thralled anymore, but I don't know. It's like a Mind Sunder, right? This thing? Psionic amplifier. Yeah, it's kind of like a Mind Sunder. Seems to be like a frequented trope that they keep using. The same thing that happened in Korthos, right?
The Illithid psionic amplifier.
Oh, yeah. You've destroyed the Illithid. Okay. So does this mean they're going to help me now? It looks like it.
You've made it into the Illithid's headquarters, though you did draw the attention of giants along the way.
Okay, so yeah, again, we'll fight him in the... I mean, I don't want to. You see how big his hits are? Like, it's just crazy how big these ogre hits are. So I'd rather just keep him in the sleet storm. Yeah, he fell and then he got turned to ice. That's great. Because of the door, I didn't feel bad about not summoning the Heart Buddy because she'll help me DPS him. But once the door goes down, she only lasts 8 seconds, but she may attack whatever else is on the other side of that door.
From further inside the compound.
Yeah, and they are coming, right? Yeah, more ogres. Are these dudes... Oh, I may be able to hold them. Yeah, there you go. Great. Alright, so now apparently, because of that mind control device being off, I can put my hold back on my bar. There we go. Well, that makes it a lot better. Our DC on Hold Monster is 102. Which isn't, you know, I mean, it's good, but it's not like the best. There are probably people out there who've got it like at 130 or something like that. But, you know, it works. This is only R1, so... Okay, so now the question I have is, because I destroyed the psionic thing, does that mean that the cloud giants are still going to attack me? I mean, they'll attack me, but are they still patrolling? That I don't know. They just gave us a shrine. I don't need it, but it's good to know that it's there. Oh, this is it.
Time to end
This is the end. Kind of afraid now. What am I gonna do? I think a good thing would be to use the Reveler's Regalia and get my... This will give us a 25% festive bonus to spell crit damage. Okay. Throw this buddy down. Oh boy, look at that. There's 3 of them. They're all red names too. I really have to be careful because if I get pink, like the pink hat on me and I can't move, then likely the thing will try to eat my brain. It also means that because they're red names, I cannot, you know, cast like hold on them or anything. Oh, yeah, there is a lot of charisma damage. I think because they throw those orb things, right? Alright, so that's one of the things that we need to do. We need to move our heal scroll onto the bar. Okay, there you go. Alright, so now it'll be easier for me to activate it. Again, I play with an Xbox controller, so while I do have a key map to my keyboard and I do not always click stuff, right? I do keyboard stuff. A lot of my combat stuff is done through the Xbox controller. And the Xbox controller doesn't have a lot of keys on it without using a third-party program to sort of extend that, just built into DDO naturally. There's only like 10 keys, so this vertical line here, those are all the keys mapped to the Xbox controller. So things like jump and my Misty Escape, they're all keyed. I just got hit with the hat. I'm hoping that I can get out of it. Yeah, okay. Really hoping that I can stay away from them and not have my brain eaten, but it's possible that they eat my brain. Very possible that Mary gets her brain eaten. We're gonna try to not have that happen, but... Oh, God, that hurt. Ah, back to back. That's not fair. Try to get an arcane storm on him. Yep. Did I kill any of the others? Okay, there's one right there. I'm gonna try to get him right now. All right, I hit him with 2 bursts, but I'm not sure if that was enough. Hit the controller with an arcane storm. Oh, he's shield linked. Yeah, they do that chaotic orb thing that the Kopru do. So I had to like move out of the way. Oh, that is so bad. So how do you do this? They're rezzing each other. Okay, is there something I'm missing? I don't see anything. It's just basically burn down this guy, drop the shield, and kill the other 2, basically, right? Like, and hopefully I don't get pink-hatted and get my brain eaten. All right, arcane storm. Avoid the orb thing. Oh, he hit me with warp reality. That doesn't sound good. Oh, look at how much damage I'm doing to him. Like, it's... Okay, that's normal. That looks normal. That shield, though, makes him absorb a lot of damage. Oh no! Get away from me! Don't you try to eat my brain. Oh, I've got to get out of that. Misty escaped at the last second. That was nice. No, 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 no. It doesn't help either that there's like literally nowhere to hide. Like there's not, unless I'm missing something. Can I climb up that? No. Oh, big thing on the floor. So I killed the 2 mobs like his buddies, but then he resurrected them. Again, this is another fight that would be probably not that bad with people, but because I'm alone, it's going to be a lot harder. When he does that shield move there, that shield really absorbs a lot of damage. I put points into this wand and scroll mastery specifically for this sort of a thing, where I'm scroll healing myself constantly, hoping that it would make that a little bit better. And I also bought, you know, a few stacks of heal scrolls before I came in here, so. I'm not sure if the Arcane Storm is even hurting him. Oh, it is. Yeah, okay. It is. He's just got a lot of hit points, that's all. It's insane. This is a very small, confined room, too, with not a good path, like I'm jumping over stuff. I kind of want to see if I could sort of stay still on one of these horns, or whatever they are, sticking out, these banners, but, you know, like, can I fight him from up here without taking one of those chaos orbs to the face? Nope. Yeah, I mean, he's got quite a mechanic. He just will heal up his buddies. So it's not worth DPSing them at all. I mean, I am incidentally DPSing them with my aura, but the good news is, at least on R1, his charisma damage doesn't seem to be that strong. It's between like 15 and 30. Which, you know, I have like 92 charisma, so I can take a few of the hits before I'd have to worry about being helpless, but I certainly don't want to be helpless. I'm not sure what the special attack is for these mobs, if they can eat your brain, but I know that if you fight normal Illithids in DDO, and they put that pink hat on you, if they walk up into melee range, then they can just do an ability where they eat your brain, and that is an insta-death. So I don't want that to happen. Even though there's a shrine right out there, I just wouldn't want this fight to reset and then have to do this all again. But doing a pretty decent job at getting the Arcane Storm on him. The other thing that I did in my drow racial tree in order for these extreme challenges, one of the things that I changed about my build was that I put a lot, like I maxed this out, which gives me a +6 bonus to my DC saving throws on an enchantment. So it also gives me a +1 on my DC to cast enchantment, but the reason is like this, I'm not sure what the saving throw for that is. I just rolled a 1, but if it's an enchantment effect, that will help, you know, keep me alive. But I've failed, so far I've failed 3 of those pink hat rolls. I just got lucky that those other monsters they were interested in the Heart Buddy and not me at the time. So I got an Arcane Storm on this boss, but he just put that shield back up. And the little heart does damage, but it's not a ton. You know, it like will throw a firestorm, but the damage on that thing isn't that high, so really I'm trying to get Arcane Storm down as fast as I can, casting it on cooldown, and then using my Epic Strike, which is the Thorn Epic Strike, to get the DPS, the Carrion Swarm. That does acid and poison. He's taking both acid and poison. It's just when he's shielded, he's taking it greatly reduced. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, I know that I'm in the 90s. So he just hit me now, I'm 72, but it seems to be like manageable. Even if he hits me for 30, I know that I can take at least one more hit after that, so I have a little time to heal it. But for some reason, my charisma is only listed as an 88, and I thought it was higher. Oh, I know why that is. It's because when I switch my hand, my main hand, yeah, I lose 4 from that, right? Yep. Another thing to consider too is that I have my spell resistance is 77. When I put this weapon in my hand, it goes up to 80. And I'm still getting hit with spells. Like, I have not seen the spell resistance shield that much. So these monsters, being CR 46, usually what you do to calculate spell resistance is you take the CR and then you add 20 to it. And that's usually a good, like, ballpark for spell resistance. So CR 46, you should be okay with 66 spell resistance or higher, but these things are clearly over tweaked. Like, they have bonuses that are above and beyond, because even with an 80, I'm still getting hit. But I think if you could get it like on a barbarian with over 100 spell resistance, they would probably be okay. And again, this would probably not be that bad if you're with people, because the DPS would be a lot higher. So my DPS is, you know, pretty low, so. I just keep getting spammed with that charisma damage, though. It does make you think, well, okay, I know if I went into... There's one of the epic trees, Fate Singer would give me immunity to charisma damage. That might not be a bad idea for these quests, since there's so much charisma damage from these bosses. Like, you can get immunity to charisma damage. I think it's tier 4 in Fate Singer. Fate Singer is okay. You know, like, I could use it because this spec has sonic damage, but there's just other things that are way better than it, so, from my opinion. But that would be a reason. Certainly would be a lot easier to just ignore that charisma debuff. So this CR46, he's got a lot of hit points too. And he does an orb of charisma damage. I'm not charisma damage, chaos damage. The exact same as the co-crew. So it makes me feel like they took the co-crew and just made it into an Illithid. I have no idea what those circles do on the floor. I'm assuming it's force damage. Don't want to find out. So he died. The quest completed, but there's still 2 buddies. Oh no, they died as well. So I would say, all in all, right, this one probably the easiest so far of the 3 that I've done. This one is annoying, though, in the sense that it's got a lot of mobs with like a bazillion hit points, but the other quests with those Warforged Titans, that also is super annoying. That's not a lot of cards for all this work, though. But you know what? I just realized that there's a hidden chest somewhere, because all of these quests have 2 chests in them, right? As far as I know. So we're going to let Darling look around for a secret door. We shouldn't have to worry. Is Darling coming? What's going on over there? Shouldn't have to worry about monsters, but there is a giant loose over here. Right there. So let's go back to the beginning and take a look and see if there's a secret door. So I don't know this quest at all. So if anybody knows, it doesn't look like it, but you never know. They're supposed to have well, how do I get at that chest? Oh, okay. Maybe this is it. Oh, yeah, there's traps. Okay, great. So I completely missed this. I'm assuming there's going to be cards in here, but I might be wrong. No cards. So maybe this quest only has one? We'll continue to look a little bit more. But if that's the case, then this would not be a good quest to farm beyond doing it the first time. Is he my... Oh, okay. No. Let's see if these guys are easier to kill without the blue hat. And with Darling helping me. I just have a feeling Darling's TPS is not very high. Didn't get the vibe that it was. Yeah, it doesn't look like it is. God, I really don't want to fight that thing again. I would really just like to look for a secret door. Yeah, the other thing about those storm giants that makes them very lame is that they can do that instance-wide lightning strike. So we're going to assume that even though while there may actually be a secret door, that there isn't one. Like, I don't see any area that looks like there might be one. So I don't really feel like killing that storm giant, spending an hour doing that. So if we can get out of here, we're going to get out of here. That's exciting, though, because that means that there's just one more extreme challenge, and then the event would be over.